Hello there, Posifarians. It's me, Schizophrenic Mitch. I'm a little late. I had to refresh some stuff. So, yeah, sorry if that took longer than I said it would. So embarrassing. Anyway, welcome to Season 6 of a radio show. But, like, you know, it's not the radio show part of it. Because we're still going to be doing radio show. Except this is not it. This is just Friday worship services. Now, it's exactly like radio show. Except I'm not allowed to play any music that might be copyrighted because of this is the shit. We don't want to get blocked. These bastards made us, forced us to do it. Oh God, they win. You know, they win when you accept insanity when you play their game. Oh God. All right. For you, chat. For you, I do this. It's so that, it's more so that we actually have something worth selling. It's really because on Friday I gotta, like, be serious. It's really, this is what they're saying.
You gotta take your satire a bit more seriously.
I know. Are you gonna do it or not? Like, would you fucking just, for 1 hour a week? Holy Christ,
We want to feel those feelings. We're addicted.
Oh, yeah. You're the one who got us addicted to it, so fucking keep giving us more and more and more. Well, okay, chat. I will, because I also am addicted to it. But let me do tell you that it's much, much easier with music, you know. Go to fucking... Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. I didn't do my levels yet. Hold on. Check. What about that? Is that more better? Let me know if you need more river.
You realized it was full blast there.
I was full blast rivering you guys! So, let me know if you're like, Jesus, that's a lot of river in my face. And you know, the river, the recording of the river is probably copyrighted. Like, you know, YouTube.
It is our first draft.
YouTube, yeah. So if this whole thing gets blocked, it's because, you know, this is episode 1 of season 6. So yeah, season 5 ended about 5 minutes ago. I was really sad about that, and we had a party, celebration. Season 5 was a great season. We did really well. Proud of that shit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so, you know, write that all in a book, send it all out. If you want the whole entire season, just send us, I don't know, $300. We'll get it all out to you on Maxell, cassette tapes, for like 300-ish bucks. So yeah, these are my, volumes of scripture. I've written quite a few. I don't think anyone can read the Gospel according to Schizophrenic Mitch and not be a Pastafarian. I don't know of anyone who has read to the end of any of my books of scripture and maintained their previous belief. If you find anyone who's willing to accept the challenge, please do send them my way. I'll send them out a volume of scripture depending on how much money they want to give me. If they want to give me 300, they can have the latest one. Hey. And then they can try to get to the end. Woo, new season, let's get drunk! Let's do. Well, you guys can get drunk. I've got to stay, you know, alcoholically sober over here whilst I perform the very important duties of my office. I had there at the DMV a folder with all of my credentials in it, my Pastafarian credentials. So yeah, I take this shit very seriously, ladies and gentlemen. Please do excuse me for a moment. So, alright. Usually right here in the services we would have an opening hymn by, like, probably Greta Van Fleet or
right?
someone
or
like this.
Dion, or...
So, if you're joining us in the future, well, you've probably not been with us for the previous hour. But we were doing that. We were listening to music that got us very spiritually in the mood. And I'm not saying go listen to that, because, you know, you can just stay here if you've only got an hour. I'm not saying it takes 2 hours. But, you know, if for the hour before this you want to take your prescription medications, which I did during one of the commercial breaks, or the musical breaks, and drink a litre of very, very cherry cola, and listen to music, that's what I do too. Crazy. But, if you only have an hour, let's get it done. Oh shit, says I Less Than 3 Travelling, who is with us today. You did get your ID done. How'd that go? No, I didn't. I went down and I tried it, and it went poorly. I think the video is up from yesterday. But, sort of, I'm going to give them a second chance and not really get my feelings hurt about it. Although I am very, very, very annoyed. And this is very important stuff. The Pastafarians are known for their IDs. That's one of the iconic sort of ideas in the I Pastafari documentary that is coming out right presently, I think. It's playing in festivals. So I'm very, very excited to see this documentary that has been I've been looking forward to for like 6 months, I think. Maybe over a year. Very excited. So, I was disappointed. How did it go? I was disappointed. But, I think I'm just going to move on and just find the place that I should go, though, if I'm a Pastafarian and I want sort of someone who knows what they're doing. So I'm not going to go to the one where it's like, we just treat people like machines. And, okay. Well, this is not mine then. I'll go to the other one. I went to the wrong building, is sort of what it was. And that's fine. I'm not the only one who got that answer from them today, on that day. I filmed some people on the way out, and they're like, well, I was just told I have to go to a whole other place, and he was taking it pretty cool, so, I'm cool too. I could be cool. I'm going to go call them, and we were going to do it today, but, business arrived. Here I am doing the business. Earning the dollars, as it were. Bringing in the feeling, invoking the creator of this reality. Now, let's talk a little about... so, here I would go to music again. Good gracious. All of my tools are gone. So, your rituals, sort of create the shell that you live in. Like, you're a snail or a turtle or whatever. Like, it's just sort of, your hair, right? It's just sort of like a thing that you do on like a just a little bit over a cellular level, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just sort of a thing that happens, and then it just happens all the time, and then it becomes another thing, right? Like, when you shave it off, it's just little pieces of like shit, and you just take it off, right? But then when you don't, it's like a hair, and here it is, it's all long, and you're like, I'm braiding it, And so, like, there's just like a subcellular thing that grows the shell on a turtle's back, and the ritual, or not sub, like just a supercellular, right? It's cells acting together, creating a sort of membrane, and then sloughing it off, or like, building another one underneath it, and then, and after 20 years you've got this thing. Mm-hmm. And so those are your rituals, right? Like, they just create a thing. It's not everything about it can't be seen while you're doing it. It's not about each individual one. It's about all of them together create a momentum and a story in your mind, and other people are attempting to control your rituals. That's a really easy way to get people to do what you want them to do, is to say, one of your rituals is this, and to have them agree with you, and then, or to more than that, to be like, I am the best at one of the rituals you want to do, right? If someone agrees with you on that, you can bring them anywhere, dude. Joseph Smith did some weird, kooky shit with it. Yeah. And so, my advice to you is to, if you need someone other than you to control it, allow me to. And don't need someone to control it if you can. Control it yourself. And if you can't, find someone you can trust. I don't know anyone with a more trustworthy cult than this one, so may as well trust me with your rituals. But don't. Construct your own rituals. Find them to be self-expressive instead of socially connective. Don't need them to connect you to fucking 9 generations ago. Because that's not what they used them for, right? Mm-hmm. They used them to express themselves and use them for the same thing. It's that idea of like when you look at the story of Muhammad, it's a story of revolution, and when you look at the story of Jesus, it's a story of revolution, and when you look at the story of Abraham and like all these and Moses, all these stories are stories of revolution, but we're all in a 7th generation church, and the story in a 7th generation church is status quo. And so how strange that the very thing that is born in revolution dies in status quo. The children of the revolutionaries don't understand the revolution. Well, the grandchildren.
Yes,
so.
right?
Right.
Quickly comes back to what they were revolting against.
Right. So, be revolutionary. Don't be 7th generation. That's silliness. The shit that they were talking about back then doesn't apply anymore, and that is truer and truer as we move into the future. It was true for Moses, and it's truer for us. So, and it will be truer for our kids. Our kids will be morally superior to us, and it will happen before you notice it.
Yes.
And it's your job to notice it. So fucking good luck. Because I think I didn't. I think I was behind. I think I was trying to be good at it, and I think I was still behind. So, we try things that can't be done, and then we're like, I got a fucking 85. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, here's another song we're not going to. No, I'm lying about that. That's not true, though.
Yeah.
What a lie that was. Welcome Pastafarians to the show. Welcome to season 6. We're trying to take some things a little bit more seriously because of how we're about to hit like some goals maybe, and like have to deal with how serious the audience takes it as well. But for me, I'm just doing what I want for now. I think we're going to slow it down to like 3 days a week, instead of like 5, which we're doing, I think. 5-ish. So, but like, the excuse for that is they'll be better. Some of those days I'll have notes, I'll be talking about something I was thinking about when we weren't together. I think being apart, will help us think about each other a bit more. So I used to write music, and it's a sort of a one-player game, and it's sort of a long time that I would spend writing music. I would do it on a MIDI sequencer on the computer. It was very electronic, but like I would expect to spend like 50 hours on 5 minutes, So it was a thing I sort of went depth first search into,
Yeah.
And so you don't write music anymore because I don't got that kind of time, and it's sort of a thing to be like, let's not go on a date today, and I'll write a song about how much I miss you. You can't have songs about how I miss you if we're all together every day chat.
All together.
Past fun. Yeah. Now that you have to fill up the time with your own voice, it must be really weird. It's not just weird; it's super frightening and embarrassing. No, it's just annoying. I'm dropping some frames here. No, dude, I totally mastered all these skills like seasons ago. I'm totally the king of broadcasting now. I'm just underfunded is my only problem. Much like Lonnie Mathern, I think that guy. I was talking to someone about some preachers, and they're like, I don't like this other guy. about because I think he's just really a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think there's two kinds of preachers, and I'm not super into the ones that like fighting because it's fighting. Hold on, I've got to light the joint here for a friend of mine. I don't know if you guys smoke marijuana cigarettes, but they're pretty cool. If you would like to come to Denver and fucking have a guruship with me, or what's the under guruship?
Internship, right? So.
But like the other side of
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, you grow some weed for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sort of 3-month process. I'll teach you all you need to know, and all you'll do is focus on your plans, right? And then for the rest of your time, you're going to stay unfocused, eh? But you'll be in the mountains, and the creator of reality will speak to you. You'll have a religious experience. There are certain ways that that we've found that are highly effective at delivering religious experiences, and I've heard that a person can't make a certain kind of change without a religious experience. So, change has been on my mind a lot recently. And I've been wondering, if I change, let's say I'm in a relationship with a person. Person A, and I'm person B. And I change. But it's like 7 years after I've known this person. And person A says to me, we're not friends anymore. Because you want me to change. Person A says that. Because doesn't a change in person B imply a need for a change in person A? Is that correct? Are they together?
Accepting someone else's change is change.
Right, you have to accept that I've changed, and that is a change. Like, isn't it? And more than that, right? Like, not just that, but I've changed in this manner, and you're going to have to change your behaviors around me if you want this to be what it was before. The conversations are going to be about this until you've understood me, right? Isn't it? The need for understanding in the other person is asking for a change, and understanding is a change. If I don't understand, understanding you would be a change.
Mm-hmm.
If person A doesn't understand why person B changed, person B would want person A to understand. And so it's more than just accepting a change. It's you're going to change in your head. You're going to understand me. Otherwise, the relationship is different.
Mm-hmm.
We understood each other, then I changed and you don't understand me. In order to bring it back to where it was, you're going to have to change too. And so every change nullifies all of our agreements to relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're very, very bad at making promises because we don't really understand what nullifies the promises. We don't care. It's like, but what if though you change your mind about blah blah blah? And it's like, well, I won't care. And they're like, there are things that are important. If you change your mind about the flatness of the earth, I mean, no, that could be serious, right? Out of a sort of satirical and morbid curiosity, is prove that I can invoke as real a reaction for the flying spaghetti monster as I was capable of doing for the God of the Mormons. I was a Mormon missionary for 2 years. I went into people's homes and I performed something that I can only now call an illusion. Okay? And I will perform this illusion for you today, here. And hopefully I will do it in such a way that you will see that this is under our control. And every time we've called it external to ourselves, we were complicit in a lie, or we were just straight up lying. So we need to chill the fuck out with a lot of the shit that we say. You know, we probably all know this. But, you know, I did it every week, so why not keep doing it? What is my religion, I wonder? If we were all religious, if we are all slaves, and we have no choice but to worship, we are judged by that which we choose to worship. We're judged by that which we submit to. And I submit to you that the only good options that I have found in all of my searches for the answer to that question is what is worthy of worship is truth and communication. I think that I would like to add love to that list, but I am not positive that love is as immune to abuse as those other two ideas could be. I meet a lot of people that are willing to say they worship Jesus and Jesus is the truth. But I find very few people that say they worship the truth and they worship Jesus if he is the truth. Which I think is a different idea. Because I worship the truth, and they say, then you worship Jesus, and I say, Jesus is not the truth. And it's sort of the hardest thing for people to understand, and I don't get it. So, if you're wrong about Jesus, Jesus was just a fucking brother, you're evil if you worship him. But if you're wrong about your understanding of the truth, what is true, then you still can't go wrong if you just worship truth. Because you'll eventually discover that you're not wrong. Especially if at the same time you worship communication, because you'll be getting closer and closer and closer to what truth is. I sort of worship communication as a side of my quest for truth. Hey, it kind of one comes out of the other. I don't think that they are super independent. I think it's sort of step 1 and 2. Maybe step 8 or 9 is love. Maybe I'm trying to get there. Who knows what my actual religious desires are in this religious creation that I'm exploring in my mind. Like the great and ancient philosophers like Paul and whoever it was that really wrote the books of Moses. These people that wrote these spiritual ideas, longing for something better than the system we have, the old and corroded system that has been around for generations and really has let us down in its ability to move forward. Hey, with the times, we find this over and over and over again. We find the answer being, you must take responsibility now. The answers are new, you must find them. I thought that my parents had found them all. I thought they had gathered all the answers together in one book. And really what happened is they were sold a book and they justified that they got fucking robbed by saying they were right. And every multi-level marketing system is that. The Mormon Church is that. The Jehovah's Witnesses are that.
Yeah.
The Catholics are that.
Every job you have.
Every job is that. And unfortunately this country, more and more, looks like that's what it wants to be. It doesn't aspire to be anything more than the fucking cult you were born into. So, you know, we've got to understand what our values are. that is the answer. The religious answer is you cannot fucking buy someone else's book. Other people's prescriptions will not work for you. You cannot rely on other people. You have to self-derive as many of these answers as you have time for. You have to come up with your own religion. You have to do it in your lifetime. And that's now. Mm-hmm. You're in your lifetime. If you can hear and comprehend what I'm saying, is the time is now. Mm-hmm. The time to rest is later, and was before now. The time of waiting for your turn is over. Your time is now. Take responsibility. Understand your religion, and it's yours. Don't say, I am of this. You're not. There's no group you can join. You are alone in your mind, and your religion is your own, just like it is with every Christian. They don't agree. They just are all making it up in their heads. It's our only option. Let's take responsibility for it. Know your fucking rituals. Own them, control them, or they'll control you. Mm-hmm. And so, I will control the world today, and I will invoke and invite into this reality the unimaginable, the thing that cannot be, the contradiction of reality. That which is greater will condescend and speak with us today and tell us that yes, in fact, this path that we're on is headed to those things that we're worshipping. That through this we can worship truth, through the control of our own rituals, we further our ability to communicate, seeing where we are, taking responsibility, being here today, now, on October the 4th of this year, the 12,019th year, can only happen once. And I was here and present. The solution and always. So, through these means, that is what I'm doing. These are my intentions. And I think that these intentions will be rewarded by that which created all that we are even trying to comprehend. Even somehow himself. So, now would be a great time to put on a song and dash out there to the little men's room and deal with that. But I can't. So, I'm just going to think about other things for a moment. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, I'm not going down to the Westboro Baptist Church. Fuck those guys. I'll go to them, when I want to go talk to them. I'll wait until, I don't want to do the really, high profile ones when I got no budget. I'm waiting until I got a couple dollars to throw at that. Get a professional cameraman flown out, Mm-hmm. You were talking about that hijab story the other day, and you were all like, this lady took off her hijab, and everyone flipped their fucking wig. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of the DMV, and it sort of is a lens. You guys see that? I haven't seen the film They Live. I think I've never seen it, but I've seen some tropes about it. It's apparently a John Carpenter film, and he does some good horror. Mm-hmm. And Rowdy Roddy Piper is in it, and so it's a movie I definitely should have watched, but I just haven't gotten a hold of it recently. But in it, there's this dude who has apparently a pair of glasses where when he looks through the glasses, he can see, the billboards say different things. And they just say words like obey and, procreate.
Oh,
and,
man.
And he puts them up and it's like Coca-Cola and yeah. And then the people in the news are like aliens. They're like aliens telling him to just meh, 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 do what you're told. But everyone else just sees it as thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, really, really cool. And so, like, this idea of, like, a hijab, well, for this lady, where everyone wears the hijab, taking it off was like putting that lens over your eyes, and everyone just sort of behaves differently. And, you should check it out sometimes. You should just, wear it. You can put the lens on. Wearing the Mormon clothes is like that, and wearing the colander is like that. You can just switch the lens, and you can get the perspective of both sides and see how very, very differently you're treated, and how minorly you have to other yourself for it to be totally not part of the team. So check it out. Walk around with a colander on your head, and just just say for YouTube, I'm gonna just, if I get cool responses, I'll edit it and put it together, and if not, I'm not. And it's a good way to see that fucking this is a society of insane people, and each of these motherfuckers could be the craziest motherfucker you've ever met in your life, and they're just participants. They're just walking around in society like they don't have something that is very, very dangerous in their mind. A reason to become violent for an imaginary friend, an imagined offense of blasphemy, can lead to violence, and we live in that society. They're trying to make us feel safe from it, and while we feel safe from it, it grows because we're ignoring it. It's one of the voices of this country at the moment is, but don't you remember that white people are the best people? And it's like, oh my god, this is un-American. So, I think it's worthy of a text, eh? It's interesting when you learn how to put up boundaries, who gets really upset that, oh, you're gonna do boundaries now? You know? It's a very weird thing to,
you're gonna ask questions?
Yeah,
now?
oh, questions are they? Who do you think you are? A superstar. And right you are. Because we all shine on like the moon and the stars and the sun. And that's Sir John Lennon, who we were listening to earlier. But, I read the words, so apparently that's fine for the copyrights.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to know what's copyrighted, the words of the performance. It doesn't really make sense. None of it makes sense to me. I hope this river is not copyrighted. But,
We'll find out.
I would not be surprised. Can you copyright the river? I think we're going to call this episode, Can You Copyright the River? But I'm not going to call it that, because I think the answer is yes. I don't want to, it's got to be a question that people take a minute to answer. The answer is yes, I can. I recorded it, it's mine. Fuck you. Alright. Is it time? Are we ready? Should we do it? I think the sermons have sort of need work for next week. So,
It's just episode 1.
now, if this converts you, okay, if you're listening to this in the future, and you're like, I was told to come here because I would feel something, but I'm going to not feel something. Okay, that might work. But, if you do, and you realize, oh shit, this guy performed the illusion for an impossible and imaginary god. My answer to you is, I know the Christians did that to me. That's how I knew you could do it for an imaginary god. And also, I'm sorry for converting you. Because if you want to be a Pastafarian, you are. And if you came here and you didn't want to be converted, and I made you against your will, I'm sorry about this sort of lack of consent of this situation. I'm not really sure that education is actually a consensual process. I don't think you can know what you're consenting to learn. I think that consent is imaginary in that case. Do you want to learn trigonometry? I don't know, because I don't know what it is always the answer, and we pretend that there's some sort of consent there. There's not. You're going to learn trigonometry, kid. And so, you don't have to consent to education pass. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. So, I don't think you have to consent to emotional reactions as well. So if you have a spiritual reaction to this, and an emotional response, and you realize that you have felt the feelings, the flying spaghetti monster has touched you in his heart with its warm and noodly appendages, and you are feeling it, sorry, I mean, you can go now if you want. But we are going to invoke the creator of this reality, the imaginer of all things. Often makes me emotional, so my apologies if this takes a little bit longer than you think it might. If I was better at it. I am practicing, and I am getting better. O flying spaghetti monster. O creator of good and evil and all that will be and is and was. O inventor of truth and imaginer of reality. We thank you for staying as far away from us as you can with your inability to listen to our boundaries, your absolutely inexcusable narcissism of thinking that you are the greatest thing that has ever happened forces you to keep thinking about us, I guess, and trying to manipulate reality such that it fulfills some weird and perverse desire of yours, but we again remind you that you have invited us to be individual creators of this reality with you. For some reason you felt compelled in your drunken stupor of creation to give us a thing that we will call free will until we understand it better. This thing which we think the gods have. This thing that is to be respected and responsible for. And we think, Creator, that we have a handle on what that means a little bit better than you. As a singular narcissistic entity, you don't understand what cooperation really is. And so please do allow us to continue to cooperate for the benefit of all. Thank you, Flying Spaghetti Monster, for the beauty that is all around us. And please help us in our quest for wisdom of how to protect this from ourselves. In the name of truth, in the name of love, in the name of Flying Spaghetti Monster, Ramen. So, this is a time where I would go to music again. I would allow you to sort of tune us out for 5 or 7 minutes while I played a piece of music that didn't necessarily need to be listened to, when you could go off and think about not what we've done here as a community, but what you do as your sort of rituals, your weekly rituals, and think maybe that you will do that instead next week. Because this is a very strange and dangerous game. People can do very bizarre things when under the influence of religion, and as a peddler and perpetrator of these ideas, I remind you that if this is an addiction that's taking over your life, I think there is help. If this is not entertaining, just like gambling or prostitution, if this addiction has become an escape for you from real life, there's another step for that too, and it's really cool, and it's really safe. It's really cool in that it's not scary and threatening, and it's a safer option than an unhandled addiction. It's not a thing that we, as people who genuinely are attempting to love the people whom we love, should inflict upon people we claim to love. Our addictions and problems are our responsibility, and I believe that religion is not only a target of addiction or like an enabler of addiction, you know, but it also is sort of, unfortunately, where we would turn for help for addiction. We would turn to our spiritual leaders. It is the escape from addiction, and it is the addiction. For maybe it is just trading one for the other. For Jesus, you find Jesus in the prisons when you're giving up your nicotine addictions, right? Or worse, nicotine or worse. But anyway, Pastafarians, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. I sort of have done all the parts of a service that are in a service. And so next week I'll be like, well, you know, now that music's gone, I gotta come up with other fucking shit to do. Yeah, next week will be a little bit better, but we'll be back on Monday probably to do a radio show. We'll just do radio show, season 6, radio show. We'll listen to whatever the fuck we want, because that shit's getting blocked. So if you want to hear that, be there. Or, you know, self-addressed envelope, the P.O. box is in the description. Although it's not yet. You know, we'll put it in when we get the P.O. box. So, if it's not there now, it's because we haven't got it. But if you're listening in like 5 weeks or whatever, and we do have it, then that's where it will be. See how it works when you're like a time traveler? It's crazy. It's false until it's true. Isn't that strange? Yeah. Anyway. Thank you, Pastafarians. Welcome to season 6. Congratulations. We're moving on and on and on. We're trying to, you know, develop for you a series of projects and deliveries that you find enjoyable. And we're very definitely trying to make it so that you don't feel like you have to listen to every fucking thing we do. Because we're just feeding the algorithm. We're just there in case fucking Country City has an argument to make that's not at 2 a.m. in the morning. But it's not required reading, you know? You're doing fine in your fucking quest to understand reality. You don't, your input is appreciated in these fuck around meetings that we have all day long. But your attendance is not required to be a good person. We value you for your input, and your shilling is great. I love it. Fucking, it's a lot easier to talk to the number 7 than it is to talk to number 2. Isn't that weird? I don't know why that is. So yeah, motherfuckers. I'll see you next week. I'm sorry that religion is a thing. What a stupid fucking game we're playing. I really wish it was over. I really wish we could just wake the neighbors and be like, "You're sleeping!" And they go, "What? Oh, fuck, let's get to work." But as you can see, I am not very good at predicting the future. I thought I would walk into the DMV and walk out of there with a great fucking ID that I could be embarrassed about for the next 3 years. And instead, no, I'm just reminded that I'm the strangest person in the world because I just don't love being obedient to systems that seem abusive. And I learned that as I escaped my cult, and I really don't know what to do about it. It might be a sort of post-religious disorder, and if you also have it, cool. Let's fucking share the tools that help with this addiction or circumcision. It could be. It could have been parts of us were cut off before we were consenting humans. Someone cut my dick, eh? Some human was like, I definitely cut kids' dicks. This is definitely moral. And a lot of people were involved in the decision, but someone cut it. This is a normal thing, he thought to himself with the knife. Oh my Christ. Why do we allow the insanity? Why? Why do we not call it insane? Cisco is here. Hello. Does the Alt-F raid dose the ATF raid? Oh. Is there an ATF raid happening? Do I have to... I was told I have to get on a list so that I don't get like the people coming into my house. The SWAT team comes in. People like to see that during live streams apparently. So as a live streamer, I'm supposed to like go on a list and be like, hey, trolls might do this. So yeah. So don't swap me because I'm not on that list yet. Hey, just as a don't. I got to do it now. That's what I'm doing this weekend. Calling up that list. Anyway, I'm leaving, but this has no fucking music in it, so it will be totally available to listen to again in like 30 minutes when they do their thing. But the one from earlier won't, so I'll go delete some shit out of that. Maybe that'll work, maybe it won't. It doesn't work all the time anymore. Did we say everything? Is there more to say? Alright, see you on Patreon, motherfuckers.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Yeah, go be religious or whatever, and don't be violent for religion. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And yeah, I think we can do it right. I think there's one true cult on the earth, and it's the one that I'm trying to make true, and that's why it's true. And if you've got a better argument than that, I don't think there is one in religion. I think they're all just as stupid and made up and poetic and pointless as that. So definitely don't let those fuckers legislate, eh? Let's do better. I'd play us out with some music, but we're just gonna go to fucking He's Not Talking Anymore. This is where the music would happen. But instead, what's gonna happen is this.